Yo. We're back. We're back again. It's the afternoon after the night before. That was a rather painful, painful evening in the way that it ended. But the game's the game, and there's plenty more things in life to look forward to. Wow, we say that then. Again, we've got Burnley this weekend in football terms. And that's probably not the most guaranteed win in the world, is it? You know, for anybody else, it probably is, but for United, probably not. But we're back. Hope everybody is doing well. Much earlier stream today. Much earlier stream today. I'm sure that various other supporters will be pretty relaxed, pretty chilled, and pretty happy with the way things are going. And this being one of them, Jaminho. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Arsenal having a rather thrilling return to Champions League football. You know, a convincing 4-0 win over PSV Eindhoven, which is no a minor feat, shall we say. It's no minor feat by any means. Wolfgang Division, good to see you, mate. We're doing all right. We're doing okay. But yeah, stream title, Blame Game FC, Witch Hunt FC. The media have gone into overdrive. It is time to blame every single individual, and it's only ever one person's fault. It's only ever the fan favourites' fault. It's only ever the players that are not British's faults. It's only ever the manager that no one in punditry or media wanted at Manchester United's fault. It's anybody else's fault, right? Other than the Glazers. Anybody else's fault, and it's very typical. I mean, we are now just taking the team that we had aside. That team, right, is missing some key players, right? Scott McTominay, point and centre, was a very big, very major culprit once again for the second game straight for completely disappearing. And he came on as a sub this time. Just completely disappeared. You didn't do too bad. We did a lot better overall as a whole, as a game as a whole, a lot better than most people were expecting. Way better as a whole than I was expecting, right? Can't wait for United to perform so shambolic that they managed to finish fifth in a 4-team UCL group. I wonder who's finished. I'll tell you what. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow someone just gets inserted because they do so poorly. But do you know what? The Copenhagen Galatasaray game ended 2-2. So it's like Galatasaray have got quite a stacked team, but as much as a team could be stacked, it never always reciprocates into positive or great performances or 6 score lines or anything like that. So I mean, it's all well and good. It might not do as well against United or Bayern. I think Copenhagen's probably the most write-off win game for Galatasaray in this group. So plus they were held to a draw, and I believe it was Galatasaray at home as well. Mama Flossie, good to see you. Good to see you. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat. All the Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, and City ghosts all came back. They did. Rajat, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Everybody's saying hello. Done with Man United. I think we all are. I think we all are a little bit sick and tired of this club. And the thing is that it's the problems from above that are really the sort of reoccurring themes over the things that are problems in this team, that are problems in this club. And there was a comparison that, that that I heard that it it's a clear way to put this, right? For a lot of people who perhaps don't quite understand um, what the situation is, right? Or can't quite grasp how the situation is. Brighton, right, are credited being a well-run club, right? They're given that credit, well-run club from top to bottom, and it's no coincidence that where the best bits at the top complement all the best bits about everywhere below, right? So right at the very top is golden, the rest of it trickles down. The rest of it is golden. Crappy ownership at the top of Manchester United's tree, and all the shit trickles down. So the rest of it is equally as shit, if not worse. It's and that's kind of to summarize the situation. That is basically to summarize what kind of scenario we're looking at here if we want to sort of paint a picture in contrast of situations of clubs. You've got Brighton on one hand that are actually, a fantastically well run club. On the other hand, got the Manchester Uniteds, and both of which have completely opposite ends of the scale type ownership. Obviously, Brighton's one doesn't want to spend 300 million every single transfer window, plus also FFP is, yeah, FFP does like to tie one arm behind quite a few people's backs when it comes to being a ambitiously spending club. My prediction for this game was 4-0 Bayern. To be honest, I think a lot of people's predictions were sort of a crazy scoreline in favour of Bayern. I don't think that was, too far dissimilar to what a lot of people were thinking or expecting. And a lot of people perhaps just didn't want to predict. They didn't want to say a scoreline because it's just like, I don't want to talk like that. I don't want to put it out there just to show just how little I believe in this team. And to be honest, I sort of have that situation in my mind where it's like I just don't believe this team because there are players in that team that don't want to be there. There are players that are just not fit for this club, but various other elements in there as well, mentality wise, that a lot of the players that we've got here have gotten used to a loser mentality under previous managers, and so they sink into the same old habits, and old habits die hard. Can't stay, lads. Got to walk the hounds. Catch you all later. No worries, Mum and Flossie. Take care. All the best. PSG always have a stacked team, and they're always crap. Do you know what? This the thing with the Qatari PSG project is that I feel like it's another example of spend big, buy all of the luxuries, right? Buy all of the luxury stuff, all the best that the world has to offer, and not reap the rewards of having so. I think their managerial choices have been questionable in terms of what manager is going to handle a team like what PSG have built throughout the years, and where it is that they're going to go in terms of trying to win all the biggest honors in Europe. And obviously, the holy grail to what Qatar wanted to do with their ownership of PSG was to make them European champions, and they failed to do so. Got to one final, and that's pretty much it. That's the best that they've managed to conjure up. But and that's the thing. And I think now they've sort of changed the tune a little bit and going a different way. So they're signing some big superstar players, but they're not like getting major like footballing icons or footballing idols to just make that team absolutely drip, fantasy league qualities or something, or like the teams that you see in FIFA Ultimate Team with people who spend thousands of pounds on their teams. Like PSG is sort of turning away from that a little bit now and trying to go down a slightly different path or try to build a team a little bit more organically. Um, just trying to bring um, younger, lesser known talents, but once again, some of the best talents in the world into the first team picture. PSG all French now. Um, I know definitely that they are probably getting some more younger French talents into the club. Um, I think there's one club like Barcelona, for example. I think because they've relied heavily on La Masia to bring through quite a few new additions into the first team picture. Um, that when you go and you see their first starting or their first team starting 11, you see, okay, so they've got quite a few players from different countries. Then look at their subs bench, and about 99% of their subs bench is always just all Spanish. Um, Literally just don't have anybody else. Uh, you can beat them at home. That squad is taxed. Do you know what? And I think because by the time we come to playing Bayern again, we might have a team that is, much more fit with some key players, key players in the team. Maybe we've got Varane playing. Maybe we've got Amrabat in there. Maybe Kobe Mainu comes off the bench and puts in a world class performance or a master class. And Hoyland's got some confidence going. Maybe Garnacho's got some games under his belt as well. He's up to speed. I mean, hopefully, some of the politics of the club will have dwindled away by that point. And I think it's, we'll probably be in a better position. Hopefully, I'm hoping that we are in a better position at least. That toxic goo, yeah. Glazonomics, I'll tell you that much. They have their league all to themselves. PSG, I mean, it is in terms of monetary flow because literally it's like the French government have a tied-in involvement to like PSG or have had in the past. I don't know if they're still equally as much of a hand in. It's like because it's the official Parisian team, capital club of the country, and everyone else comes from some coastal town or city or something like that. That the money flows not balanced, so all the other clubs get a small cut of the revenue, whereas PSG get by far the most amount. But even then, just to commemorate how bad some of the decision making from PSG's board has been, that even then, with minimal spending, some of their rivals can build like these sort of, okay, it's an ambitious team, looking to go cause an upset. They end up causing just an entire season long upset by just beating PSG to a title. Like Lille, Lille doing it, Monaco doing it. I think even Rennes got close last season, finishing second, like 1 point behind PSG, by the way. Messi went to Paris for the Champions League, failed. Well, it's probably at the time, probably the only club that was willing to spend him and take him. And Gabby, not sure who. Too sure. Missed Fred. Do you know what? I said this during the summer transfer window. When there was the trifecta of players that Manchester United or midfielders Man United needed sold, that McTominay was at the very, very top of my list of midfielders needing to go. And he is the only one of the three that is going to stand a chance of playing for this club. You know, Donny van der Beek is, I don't know if he's still here. I think he's still at the club. Somehow, I think Donny is still at this club, and he's not in the active roster of the club, which is absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. But Fred, it's like what you get with Fred is tenacity. You get a bit of pace, a bit of fight, a bit of fire, and work rate. You do get work rate, obviously, in terms of performance and ball distribution. How he carries the ball sometimes is not great. It's not that good. From time to time, obviously, very, very ridiculously inconsistent. But even a very, very inconsistent Fred is miles, 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 miles better than Scott McTominay. And it's like, that's just Glazonomics once again. Obviously, Fred being the problem, but we've got to big up the Scott, big up Milky Bar Kid, because that guy, because he runs and fights for the shirt. Or didn't Fred do that? Doesn't Donny van der Beek do that? Don't most people do that? Because as far as running and fighting for the shirt, Scott McTominay does very good at running and fighting for the shirt. The shirt of the opposition team does a very good job at that, because the guy's just invisible, literally invisible, and doesn't commit. He doesn't commit to the game. He doesn't commit to the fight. He doesn't do it. So, but there will be McTominay apologists out there still rating him better than Amrabat, and probably still rating him better than Kobbie Mainoo. I mean, Kobbie Mainoo shits on Scott. Really, really shits all over him. The guy's not played or started a competitive fixture for Manchester United Football Club. And he might have done last season once, but that's crazy. Scott, who's played nearly 200 games, or he has played over 200 games for United, is shit all over by a 17-year-old kid who's probably played or started one competitive fixture for Manchester United. Make that make sense. But apparently Scott's the future. Scott's also got the Lingard syndrome. Oh, he's got age on his side. He's got time on his side. Oh, Scott McTominay. Oh, this guy could play until he's 40 and he'd still be a better prospect than the best 18-year-old kid in the world. Like, suck my left nut. Suck my left nut. Literally. Get out of here with this. It's absolutely, completely and utterly stupid. It's like you deliberately come out with this viewpoint and don't actually believe it as a viewpoint, but do it to deliberately piss people off. Like, it's like I can see through your games, your lies. I can read between the lines here of your book of discourse in the modern world. What did you think of Hoyland? Glad he got a goal. Glad that he was active. Glad that he was, fulfilling the role of a striker. But then again, I'm glad that this team that we played with was actually trying to, connect things together, connect some dots together last night. And that can only be a positive thing, because that means the front men get chances and the front men get scoring opportunities. So, fantastic. That to me is a lot better than what we've had for a long time. Because if we've got forwards that are receiving the ball, getting touches, getting shots away, actually being involved in the game, is better than having someone cut inside and shoot from about 50 yards away. and hoping that it goes far post or top bins or something like that, or pretty much every other case disappears off into Rosette or goes into the stratosphere. So like Barca and Real, yeah, with the funds distribution, yeah, competition earnings needs to Gabby S part of the other convo. He plays. Oh, Gabby, you mean Gabby? Because I know there's Pedri and there's Gavi, young midfielder, Spanish midfielder. Guy has the most cockiest attitude on him. Gavi, I don't like his attitude. Like the guy's like he's so cocky, and he's not actually that talented. It's like he's a young bastard coming through in the team for Barca. And you know what? Maybe that's something that team needs, just a bit of bastardry in their midfield, because at least it provokes the team to care a bit, to put a bit of extra fight, um, a bit of extra tenacity, desire, passion. Get people fired up, get your teammates fired up, get them stuck into the game. Do it for them. Young players part, yeah. La Masia, Milky Bar Kid. Yeah, he is. I've literally, right, Canva for my thumbnails, I've got the Milky Bar Kid. And I've literally used him as part of my thumbnails before with the Milky Bar Kid. It's crazy. But he is exactly that. Nutter. Amrabat will come back into the team. Yeah. And you know what? This is the thing. Is straight away, I can tell that there are people that are very much against this manager in the media, because they're already questioning everything. Like saying, "Oh, Amrabat's not going to work in this team." "Oh, he's just an Erik Ten Hag signing. He's going to flop. He's going to flop." I'm like, well, you don't know these things. You just don't know them. It's like the same people who talk about our takeover process and say, "Oh, United, they're being purchased by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. The process will begin in due course." Fuck off. No, it hasn't. You don't know jack shit. What's happened is you've heard a conversation and someone brought up a name that's a buzzword to you. You got all excited. You got a little bit sticky uppy, yeah, in your downstairs, and thought, I know, I'm going to stick out a story there that's going to be pro agenda this and anti agenda that. If it's talking about anything British, oh my God, you see that? That colour right there is the colour that their different coloured rooms would turn into the second they see something to write about that is an English person. Kind of like a Harry Maguire story, For me, Amrabat, he's going to be pivotal. Pivotal in this team. Very crucial, very important. And it's what I said the whole summer. This kind of a signing is a necessity signing. Necessity. Make sure that this guy comes in. The fact is that here's the truth of this. He was signed as the last signing of the summer, right? Factually, we all know this. We are midway through or approaching October. We are less than 2 weeks away from October, and Amrabat is still yet to play for Manchester United. The season begun in August. So he's yet to play a minute for Manchester United, right? The summer transfer window opened on the 10th of June. We played our first pre-season game in July, the beginning of July, and important player is not training. He goes away on international duty, picks up a little knock, he comes back as a precaution, doesn't resume training with the squad, but now he's sort of getting close to being eased back into things. You've got the same problems as us, too many players disjointed. There's too many players at this club that this manager wanted gone. And as much as it's like, but if the manager wants them gone, why doesn't he, call them out in the media? Why doesn't he say out loud in the media, it's like, I think these guys, I want them to go. These guys need to, think about their, careers going to other clubs and whatnot. Or why doesn't Ten Hag, take the incentive to act upon the players not leaving? But it's like, well, it's either one of two things happens then for Erik Ten Hag. He either commits career suicide by just completely outing these players in the media because the club would sack him quite quickly, or he walks away and he just walks out of a job, And that's the thing. If he believes that there's still something to fight for here, so he's not going to just switch off the day. Yeah, just switch off the light. Yeah, just walk out the door. Yeah, who cares? It was a finished. It's a finished club, anyways. Who cares? He's not going to do that, is he? Most managers on this planet won't do. Even Mourinho, for crying out loud. Mourinho didn't walk out the job. He did stuff that really didn't help his case and ended up getting sacked for it. But he didn't just walk out and drop the job and just go, no, I resign. I resign. Like, even then, like, I mean, you don't really hear about it at this sort of level, that a manager just resigns out of the blue because, well, club politics. When you get more players back, it'll be a closer call. You need another left back. I mean, Serge Reguilon, do you know what? As much as Spurs fans didn't like him, as much as, it's perhaps not a great left back, as far as performances go, he's not done a terrible job for us. He's not done a bad job even. He's actually done a fairly steady Eddie kind of job for us. And that's kind of a reoccurring theme, because I know that the people do like to say, oh, Shaw's the best left back. Oh, Malacia, he's not great. He's not good. It's like, but everyone's not really been outstanding at left back as such. I know that Talking Point's been a much more established part of the conversation for our right back position, with Wan-Bissaka obviously being out of favour to becoming back in favour and, cementing his place. Obviously, with Diogo Dalot, I think defensively is a little bit suspect defensively. I think we saw that a little bit against Bayern, a little bit defensively suspect, but just, a concentration thing. It's a concentration issue with this team, because, like as I've said, the goals that we scored against Bayern Munich, they were very, very quickly. It's like I watched a couple of the highlights as well, again, with the goals. And just seeing the way in which the team did not look energized. They didn't look like they wanted to defend for when we scored, or Casemiro scored. We could have gone on to score another to actually draw the game, to all of a sudden us conceding a goal that we just didn't need to concede. I just checked, you have 10 injuries, things will get better. Don't fall for the PR. And that's the problem, is there's a lot of people that are going to fall for PR, because the PR itself, the machine, all the cogs are turning. Everyone's going to start buying into stories, because all the media's, all of it, they're just going into overdrive. It's like Onana, the big talking point. Oh, big Onana mistake that occurred. Oh, you should have saved that shot. Oh, we go straight through him. Oh, you crappy goalkeeper this, crappy goalkeeper that. Oh, I wish De Gea was still here. So this is the funny thing, is everyone was absolutely wetting themselves with like an appetite, like you whet your appetite. These people were so excited to see Onana, this ball playing goalkeeper, come into our club. But now everyone's crying. Everyone's crying. What you crying for? You got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Me, I just said, look, David De Gea, whether you like him or not, for me was never the priority. It was never a priority signing. I'm happy that we signed Onana for a goalkeeper to replace De Gea, but I was just like, goalkeepers, I'm not worried about no goalkeeping issues. Like, you can say, well, howler after, like, mistake after mistake after mistake. Oh, but yeah, there's ball playing, goalkeeper. This guy's making mistakes as well, no? But he's also, right, conceded way more goals than David De Gea did in the first X amount of games. Um, and we've broken a record for most games conceded, or most goals conceded in consecutive games since like 1970s. So we broke a record um, regarding an aspect of the team where a goalkeeper who last year, the Golden Glove winner, might I add, is hounded out of the club for a ball playing goalkeeper, but now everyone's crying again because our said favourite goalkeeper that everyone was so excited about is conceding goals. Now, I like Anana because he's a blockbuster goalkeeper. He fits to the picture of the modern game. He does. We just have to go forwards with it and see how far we get. And what I like about Anana in his character is that he takes accountability, and the fact is that if he makes a mistake, he calls himself out on it. He says literally he vouched to go into the media interview and called himself out on it and said tonight was not a good game. I was awful. I was shit. I was shocking. Like he called himself out on it. And that is where a goalkeeper goes, well, right, or a player goes, well, I call myself out. I know where my level needs to be. So now I've got to put in my effort, my fight to get back into everyone's, favorability, get back into those better positions, get into the good side of people's minds. Lavia and Nkunku not kicked the ball for us in the season. I think it's due to having injuries. Amrabat picked up an injury on international duty, but we signed him so late, which is absolutely ridiculous for a necessity signing as well. Think Lavia signing for you. I know the guy's not like up to match fitness, but I think your Lavia signing was sort of like a late spending spree because I know Chelsea were quite quiet at the start of the window, and then it sort of all exploded into life. Not too bad. I hear you about Reguilon. He's not been too bad, but he needs a centre back. But a centre back, 100% you need. We could have signed either Benjamin Pavard or Todibo. Young, pacey centre back from Nice to replace Harry Maguire, but we opted to not pay off a severance pay package to Maguire because we didn't want to think about the bigger picture. We wanted to think about the money picture, and that fits completely into the picture frame of Glazonomics. If it hinders the team, well, fuck whoever it is that cares about it, right? If it hinders the team, who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. If it, mate, if they, if Harry Maguire were to solely contribute to the club getting relegated from the Premier League, the Glazers wouldn't care. They honestly wouldn't care. They'd probably laugh a little bit and say, "Ha ha, the club got relegated. It was Harry Maguire's fault." They wouldn't care because it's like they only care about the numbers on the fact sheets. They don't care about the club's actual performance. They don't. If it brings in if a performance brings in money, they don't care about the performance side of it. It's like the how. They don't care about the how. As long as it's got money there and there's money coming in, they don't care how it's done. Just get them money. Give them money, money, money. That's all it is. Um, the handball was harsh. It's the handball that was given for Bayern. It was the same sort of handball that we had, I think, in the Spurs game. Similar situation, similar positions in the box, or similar scenarios, similar play through. One's given, the other isn't, but refereeing inconsistencies. It's a fact. It's a way of the modern game, it seems, and that's just like one of those that I'm not going to sit here and cry about refereeing decisions. It's just a part of the game we have to accept now. And I heard it on Sava Talks Football Heritage TV, Savon Football Heritage TV, was saying to scrap VAR, just scrap it altogether, because it was. It's like people say, well, it's not the problem with the system itself; it's the people using it. But then again, it's kind of like the situation that he then brings up, and I sort of feel about it the same way. Well, we wouldn't have a discussion about VAR. We wouldn't have a discussion about anything of mad controversies if VAR just didn't exist. If it didn't exist, we wouldn't be talking about refereeing every single week and all of the inconsistencies. There probably wouldn't be the referee watch segment in Sky Sports shows. There wouldn't be a referee watch. So VAR, well done. You've just kind of outed your whole officiating team for the Premier League and any other leagues that have got virtual assistant refereeing capabilities, and just shown everyone how incapable people actually are at responsibly using technology to moderate a game. Good job. So for me, I would scrap the whole thing. Scrap it. Get it gone. We got 12 out, and people talk about what we spent, half the players we bought not even play. I suppose it's one of those things. Like you got to point the finger at the board again. It's like, well, these players who aren't fit, right? You sign a lot of players, you spend a lot of money on players who aren't fit. Weren't there alternatives and options that would have done equally a good job or something of similar or offer something similar to your team, right? Weren't there fit alternatives? Weren't there people that you could sign today and they will be training tomorrow? Are there not potential options like that? Or is it you took the contract to somebody lying in a hospital bed and then was like, here you go, just sign on that dotted line. And whenever you feel like you want to get up out that hospital bed, we'll send an ambulance to pick you up. At least you took responsibility. Yeah. I like a player that takes accountability for their performances, unlike some people's, pro pundit, captain, that can't get a game to save his life now. To be honest, yeah, it's a mad contrast as well. From Harry Maguire, the captain, who sent anybody else into doing interviews post-loss than himself, anybody else, you go do the interview, mate. I'm not doing an interview. Anana faces, he's in a difficult position, comes out to face the interview, and he speaks his mind. He doesn't, cut out, any bullshit, nothing like that. He's just straight to the point, and you can only commemorate that. McTominay shouldn't wear a United shirt again after coming on as a sub last night. Hindered us rather than helped us. Big up off us. Stephanie Griffith, fantastic to see you. Hope you are well. 5 people in the stream, or now 4 people in the stream. Make sure you are smashing a like as you come in, people. Get us up the algorithm. Get us going. Get us motoring. But yeah, Scott McTominay, I'd seriously, if Donny van der Beek is still available, I'd swap him out. I'd kick McTominay out of the playing squad and bring Donny in. He'd still give us more than what Scott does. Still give us more. Varsical remove. Varsical. I don't know why I was trying to pronounce it that way. Varsical remove. Yeah. VAR did more harm than good. It did. It did. And you know what? Even Sky Sports have they've suckered themselves into it. They have. They suckered themselves into it. They even now have the referee watch segments in their shows. So, but But yeah, it's oh Jesus Christ, I don't want to click leave there. Um, but yeah, it just feels like now that the dust has settled a little bit, and some good news that apparently, I don't know how true this is. Good news that is coming in about injuries is that Amrabat is fit enough for the squad against Burnley this weekend. Mason Mount is still a week away in training, and Mainu at least another 2 weeks away. I don't know how true that is. Don't shoot the messenger. This is just what I'm reading. But if we have got Amrabat back, then a lot of people are saying that the season starts on Saturday. I wouldn't get too confident that you will definitely beat Burnley because, yeah, because it's United. What you thought going forward in the Champions League? Well, do you know what? Bayern weren't this scary, destructive team that no one could possibly ever beat. They didn't cut that figure last night, so there's definitely hope, 100% hope. I think that looks like a team that we could get at. We'll take them back to Old Trafford. They'll probably be the last game that we play of the group stage fixtures, but we've got 4 games coming up against Galatasaray in Copenhagen that we have to win. They are must wins, they are expected wins. A lot of people say, well, watch out for Galatasaray. They got a stacked team, high quality team. Yeah, but it's Man United. Are we really going to say we'll be defeated by Galatasaray? I know we're not quite Arsenal, go get defeated by Olympiacos from time to time. But we are Manchester United against Galatasaray and Copenhagen. Galatasaray and Copenhagen. We should be beating both of those teams home and away. And I believe we can do something against Bayern at home as well. So I think still first or second is on the cards, is a plausible outcome. The outcome that we should be doing, as a minimum, expecting to qualify from this group. If anything less than qualification is considered failure. Positives, Reggie, Rules, and Rasmus Rocks. Yeah, I think Reguilon had a fairly good performance. He's played all right thus far for us, which is interesting to see. And Rasmus also found the back of the net. He's opened his account for Manchester United. Just don't play Bill and Ben at the back. I mean, Bill's injured at the moment. He's out. Maguire is out injured. So we had one centre back on the bench last night as well, by the way. One centre back, and that was Johnny Evans. Imagine that. One centre back fit on the bench, and it's Johnny freaking Evans at 33/34 years of age. I mean, that's ridiculous. Not the rampage it was supposed to be. Yeah, by no means. And not all hope lost then. No, not all hope lost. And, I still tap into, the video that I made about the group when the draws came out. I said, look, this group, there are 2 tough tests, or there are a few tough tests in the group, but are very much, overcomable challenges. Teams to beat there, and Copenhagen and Galatasaray, but Bayern home and away. It's probably where we'd encounter dropped points in that group, and I think we've experienced the drop points already against Bayern away. Tough game for probably the toughest fixture for everybody in that group, by the way. I'll tell you what would be a little bit daunting is if Copenhagen and Galatasaray somehow, some way get points off of Bayern any other point in this group. And I think it's actually kind of good that the first fixture between Galatasaray and Copenhagen Flames. I'm thinking about Counter Strike. Copenhagen, FC Copenhagen, draw 2-2 as a point apiece. They've both taken a point off each other, but they've both lost 2 points in the process. So we could, like, we're only 1 point behind two of the total four teams in the group, right? We're behind two. Well, we're one behind two, and then obviously three behind Bayern. But so it's if we want the other two teams to not really be competitive against us, we want them to draw against each other. No one get ahead of you. Understand? Well, they're ahead of us, the other two teams, but they are not like we have to win games to just to keep up with them. It's they've drawn, so they're literally only just taking a slight nudge forwards in front of us. So we win a game, we're guaranteed to overtake one or even two of these teams, because the other team, both of those teams, either one of them has to play us and the other one plays Bayern. That game they lose, and if we beat the other team that we're facing against, straight away we're up into second place. So it was a favourable draw for us. It was a favourable draw for us. Not over till it's over. It's not. It's not over till it's over. Unless we have another case of Brighton syndrome, where it's just like we concede a goal and we decide, you know what, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it for us, and throw the towel and call it a day. Just hop, skip, and jump into that sandy pit of losery. Don't want to do that. But some a little bit of good news. Drink me plenty of water. Okay, yeah. So everyone's wow. Okay. Tony Ibarra, big up the fans, big up to the Tony. How we doing, mate? Hope you're well. Hope you're swell. Hope you're well. Hope you are swell. You never know. Tony, my lord. Tony, my lord. Just having a little look through, seeing if anybody else is talking about anything in terms of fitness-wise. I know Varane is back in training as well, so we are probably going to see the Martinez-Varane partnership start again very soon. He came back into training before the Bayern fixture. Some of the squad, I think most of the squad, are using Bayern's training facilities today to get an extra session under the belt. Fair play. Probably travel back tonight, or probably already on the plane right now. So, yeah. Interesting. You know what? Big ups Bayern. Big ups Bayern for letting us use their training facilities to put in extra sessions. I've always had a soft spot for Bayern. Always had a soft spot for Bayern. Big ups to the Bavarians. Hope, Fuzzy. Yes. Hope, and hope even more. My head is swollen from that 4-0. Can't wait for some fried chicken this weekend. Oh, gonna cook some spuds. Cooking some spuds. Some cocks of North London shall be cremated. Cremated in the North London Derby. What, if you can, bring us some initial thoughts and feelings for that game, Tony, because I can imagine that this is a very anticipated North London derby. Ange Ball is rocking, but Arteta is clawing it back. He's getting back into the swing of things. So, where I thought it was going to be quite a Spurs probably going to take this one. Do you know what? If Arsenal start with a bit of fire, pace, tenacity, they've got that sort of edge to their game creeping back in. There's going to be one hell of a competitive game, and you would be a fool to not watch it. I need to figure out what day that game is on because I'm probably going to do a watch along for that as well. Um, I'll probably do a watch along for that. I'll do a watch along for Saturday night. Burnley versus Manchester United, or at least I want to try and do that um, as much as I can. And then that Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoff, Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur. Wolfgang, you have got Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge. Are you feeling confident? About Mount and Varane are working up fitness. Yes, they are. Love me some fried chicken. Not from KFC. I ain't liking it from KFC. Every time I've had a KFC, I felt sick afterwards. Every single time. Arsenal's going to kangaroo kick Ange back down under. Wow. Do you know what? It's going to be one hell of a game, and I'm so looking forward to it. I want to do a watch along for it so bad. I do. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try and get some time. I was about to unscrew the lid. I know, and hell no, Villa will beat us. Villa will beat us. So you are not feeling very confident about it. I'll bring you in on match preview tomorrow if you like. Is that an evening show that you're planning on doing? Depends on what time it is, because with how work is shaping up tomorrow, I'll probably. I mean, actually, to be fair, I could do another sort of midday stream or video or something, and then keep my schedule open in the evening. So I'll have to see how things go. Really, yeah. What time are you free? So I'll probably be back home from work about 3-ish, about 3 p.m.-ish, thereabouts. So I'll try and make myself free and available for it. See how quick I can get myself available. But yeah. 6 p.m. give time to settle. If it's a 6 p.m. time, because I do have a bit of a cut-off point where I'm not available in most evenings, or pretty much every evening. Sort of runs from 7 p.m. till sort of 8:30-ish p.m. That I'm just not available to start with any streaming or anything like that at all. So we could start at 6 p.m., but I'd need to make sure that I'm off in due time once we hit 7. But yeah, more than happy to hop on to doing a preview with you, because we can also do a little bit of an insight preview to the Burnley game as well, so we can sort of tie in both games, as well as addressing maybe a few other points here and there. It's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. Um, but yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that we've covered that I want to cover tonight, or this afternoon. I said tonight. It's still only not even 5:30. Um, Gonna wrap things up there, people. See if there's anything else at all. A lot of people saying a lot of different things. Okay. No, it sounds doing call-ins again. Cool. But yeah, that's it for tonight. Big ups to everybody for tuning in. Massively appreciate all the love and support. Make sure that if you're watching us on playback or if you're still in the stream chat there, make sure you smash a like on this content. And really, really appreciate all the love and support that you do show. Make sure if you haven't done so already that you are subscribed. We're up to 103 subs. We are slowly but surely, most certainly surely, on our way to 200 subscribers. So massive appreciations for that support there. Top man. Big ups to Wolfang Division. Thank you very much for tuning in to the stream. Big ups to Tony Ibarra, Stephanie, Rajat, Mama Flossie, and Jamino. Big ups to everybody that has tuned in as channel regulars. Always a pleasure to see you fine folks around these parts, and definitely make these streams a lot more enjoyable for me. So thank you very much for keeping me entertained, as well as hopefully you guys have been entertained for the past 57 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's it from me for today. Y'all enjoy yourself the rest of your Thursday afternoons, whatever it is you may be doing. And by the time most of you are back from work in this country in Europe, you're probably back in time to kick back, relax, and enjoy this stream on playback if you so choose to watch this stream. Maybe you don't. But big ups to everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been an honor. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. We'll see you on the next one. Ciao for now.